Okay, good evening, everyone.
Good evening, Bhaiya.
Yeah.
Good evening, everyone.
Yes, good evening. I will just start sharing now. Okay. So yesterday we were talking about how the teachers will be have to get the enlightenment, and then we had spent some time on understanding whether it was mandatory for the teachers to be enlightened first, then impart the knowledge. But here we have understood that the teacher is Babaji himself, and that we are in light of his books we are doing the adyan. And so we also discussed what is enlightenment and what is realized, and so we'll continue from there. Enlightenment will, I just read one paragraph before that. Enlightenment will not happen merely by speaking. We listen to something, accept it, and then devote ourselves to exploration. So this word exploration means we are not supposed to follow it. There is no word as following it. It's exploration. That means we see these things within ourselves, and how if they are echoing within us, then we'll follow this path of realization. And then we will also be carrying out the like the activities based on what is our understanding, and that is what of the coexistence. So in short, we are just trying to carry forward this knowledge that Babaji has seen himself, and then we are seeing it through his eyes, and we are exploring it. As such, we are seeing it if it is setting in our lives or not. And this is the path I took. However, I believe most people will follow the path of study, realization, and evidencing. So अध्ययन विधि से उसको कहा गया है. We will be able to follow this path through studying. Realization, it means, I think, when we are seeing it in our lives and we are experiencing swanirikshan, parnirikshan, I think that's where realization comes. And then evidencing is automatically because we are doing everything in orderliness, and hence everything falls into place. We are in harmony with existence, with all the four orders, and experiencing the I'm forgetting the sequence, but how bliss was the first thing when the Jeevan is the one which is now guiding instead of the man. So that's what we are going to see as evidence, right? There are prevalent traditions and there are common people trapped in them. What is your view about them? Okay, so this is going to be a very like idealistic way of answering. Let's see what Babaji says. You have used two words, tradition and common people. I understand tradition to be under four heads: education, religion, state, and commerce. These four seats are at the helm of tradition. They are like the boats that each human sails on. At some point or the other, in my eyes, these traditions have become completely rotten and useless, with nothing to offer to those on board. They keep bragging still that all their efforts are for our emancipation, even when we don't find a single person becoming emancipated. Okay. So I think what here the ultimate goal of humans is basically liberation or emancipation, and then we are not seeing it. There's four, how is it called, heads. So education, religion, state, and commerce, right? So instead, the saviors themselves look downward, round. On this basis, I have said that all traditions have become rotten and useless. The only source of meaningfulness in you is humans. I have studied that more than 51% in every human is meaningful. Humans can be reformed. Tradition, on the other hand, is beyond reform, and a new tradition will have to be established. The prevalent tradition does not have the substance for form, for reform. So again, the prevalent tradition does not have the substance for reform. That means there is nothing worthy from the present system because it is driven by Priyahit Labh, right? So everything is designed like that. The cities are designed like that. The commerce is designed like that. Education is designed like that. Religion is also designed like that. Whatever is likable, whoever has given the most sort of reverence, donations, or penance. This is going to be the highest in the state of religion also, and at the state level also. Whoever is maybe probably having the pad will be given the higher status. The others, the people who are below them, they are just there, and not having any sort of equality also. So very brutal and very straightforward. The answer is given here. It does not have substance for reform. Okay. The traditions of education and state will remain whether they are meaningful or meaningless. The state at present is essentially a rule, the basis of which is constitution, which is fundamentally sorry, power-centric rule, the meaning of which is stopping one mistake by making another, stopping one crime by committing another, and stopping one war by waging another. What is there for humans in this? Will anything change by stopping? The more we try to stop crimes and wars, the more they increased. It is for everyone to see. So here it's almost saying that, and we had also discussed this before, that like even if we like had to do the war that we did with this Operation Sindoor, so-called retractical measure, countermeasure rather. So is it going to be any? Is it going to bring any stoppage of war? Right? Sure, it is a slap on the face, but then we are also knowing, and we have also seen this when one generation does this with another group of people, then those group of people wait when they come in power or when they are strong enough, and then they come back with vengeance and all this kind of thing. So uh, we are already seeing the roots of that taking place, like the water wars are going to happen now with the Brahmaputra being sort of in the line of making the dam. The Chinese are helping them, and then now let's see what happens. This is all just going to be very funny to see actually, because uh, we might say that we did a rhetorical slap on the wrist, and now what will happen is next generation will have to face, because this building the dam itself on the Brahmaputra will take years. I don't think it's a small project, but then that's how the Chinese will control that based on the Pakistanis. Basically, they are like the friends or the iron, इसको कहते हैं ना, iron friends or something that they call themselves, the Pakistanis and the Chinese. So yeah, waging wars against wars, trying to fix that thing. So this is how it's going to play out. Business cannot let go of its addiction to exploitation. Religion is addicted to giving assurances and getting respect. These assurances are will we will emancipate the sinners, convert the selfish into benevolent, convert the ignorant to learned. There is no evidence of these assurances having been fulfilled. Humans have kept thinking I am wrong. Traditions are right for now. From now on, I want to awaken humans, not traditions. I don't deal with traditions. I am a human and I relate to humans. बहुत बढ़िया. So as you can see, it is just almost just one page. The answer is. So again, Babaji very rarely comments on the wrong and on the problems of the world. He keeps it short and is straightforward. And we are saying that he's just rather focused on getting the right things in order and the right ways and reforming of education through education. And that's what his focus is on.
Babaji is
Question. One
saying that,
hand.
yes,
Huh. Yes, Bhaiya.
Babaji is saying that instead of changing the tradition, let us bring the new tradition. And these traditions are based on the humanity. Instead of these are based on only manyata, or
Right.
only whatever has happened in the past that should continue. So Baba is saying, no, let us talk about the humanity. Let us discuss about the existence. Let us discuss about the coexistence. So this is a totally new tradition, and it automatically replaces the old tradition. This is my view.
Right.
As we
Yeah.
keep on learning things,
Mm.
wrong traditions, automatically we don't like. That this
Right.
happens to every person who keeps on understanding this.
Mm. Mm. And actually, I'm amazed that as we are taking the classes, I'm realizing that it's very easy when we are realized and we are talking the truth. Be it even the fact of orderliness in the three matters also, let alone the orderliness in the humans. But when we are talking about the orderliness and seeing the orderliness in the three orders, I'm seeing that a lot of people are actually awed and taken into some sort of stare of of surprise that how easy it is, and then we could not see it yet, but now we are seeing it. Now we will follow this. So the righteousness path, as Babaji has once also said, uh, uh, I'll just translate it. What it means is basically there is no human on this earth can who can reject the proposal of righteousness. So सत्य का प्रस्ताव कोई मानव नकार नहीं सकता है. So that's what he had said once to, I think it was Ajay Jain Bhaiya. He had said that to Ajay Jain Bhaiya directly, and this we get to heard this kind of nuggets when they are. No, he said it to which Prabodhak is that Bhaiya who takes videos? Sathak Bhaiya, some like that. Uh, Sarthak Bhaiya.
Which type of videos, Bhaiya?
The he has his own
Sadhan Bhaiya.
public.
One is Sadhan Bhaiya,
No, no, not Sadhan Bhaiya. Uh,
Rakesh Gupta Bhaiya,
he's a little short and he's wearing specs. Sarthak? No, not Sarthak. I've forgotten his name.
संकेत ठाकुर भैया
Yes, Sanket Thakur.
श्याम
Yes.
भैया श्याम
Sanket,
भैया
No, no, Sanket
श्याम
Thakur.
Sanket
संकेत
He,
Thakur. He is saying
has,
about Sanket Thakur.
he records this ambassadors of happiness, right? He has this channel where he uploads short videos of ambassadors of happiness. Sanket
I'm
Thakur,
not
yeah,
sure
that's
about
him.
it he is doing, but yes,
हाँ
the features you are telling is about Sanket Thakur.
हाँ हाँ बस तो he had once come onto this special series of when Shalini holds them, and he had said this कि सत्य का प्रस्ताव कोई नकार नहीं सकता है. Imagine just one line, how beautiful it is. It applies to everything, that if something is proposed righteously and it is righteous, no human has the power. किसी की आई विश आई हैड रिमेंबर्ड द होल हिंदी ऑफ इट, बट किसी की औकात नहीं है कि सत्य का प्रस्ताव को नकार सकता है. दैट्स व्हाट संकेत बी हैड बीन टोल्ड बाय बाबा जी. So these things are obviously going to happen when there are conversations and happening, and somebody asks something, and then he has said that how will it be accepted, and then the Babaji had answered it like this, straightforward. किसी की औकात नहीं कि सत्य का प्रस्ताव को नकार सकता है. So I'm saying this with my own reflection in my own work, and Shalini also says the same, that when we are proposing this, when we are giving this and understanding this orderliness, and how easily it is accepted by the groups that we are holding, and I'm sure if we keep on doing this with many people, it will be the same result, because सत्य का प्रस्ताव है, किसी की औकात नहीं है कि उसको नकार सके. These are the words. So yes, बढ़िया. On one hand, you say that traditions are rotten, then humans who are products of the same tradition should also be rotten. Still, you say that humans are more than 51% right. What do you mean by that? Okay, so this is a logical question that is following up the previous question. The people at the helm of the four traditions that we spoke about, don't have inquisitiveness for reform. Okay, so this means they are happy and settled where they are in their power positions, right? Those in the seats of power and the tenets of these seats don't have the basis of inquisitiveness. On this basis, I say that these have become rotten. While every human has the spark of inquisitiveness in some corner, on this basis, I say that humans are more than 51% right. So again, people who are in power or people who reach onto power, they still are driven by the four kriyas, and hence the Jeevan is just in the priyahit labh. And since there is no input towards anything beyond the man, so the basically those people become less, or rather they don't become inquisitive to reform. They are accepting, rather they just become the part of the system in that sorts. But
Yeah,
the
what are these four traditions? It is written at the first line. What are the four traditions
people at the helm
that
of the
we
four
speak?
traditions. I think this is the four. He was supposed to say the four orders. Sorry, not the orders. What was the word? The four heads. I think that's what it means. Here is written. You have used two words, tradition and common people. So basically, the tradition, I
Okay,
think, are these
education.
only.
These four:
Ah,
education,
ah,
religion,
right.
state, and commerce. Right,
हाँ, so
right,
these are
right,
the ones. Hmm.
right. Thank you.
हाँ, तो वो चारों में जितने भी लोग बैठे हैं वो बेसिकली वो खत्म हो गए इन शॉर्ट बिकॉज दे आर नॉट इंक्विजिटिव दैट्स व्हाट इज सेइंग हियर द पीपल एट द हेल्म ऑफ दिस फोर ट्रेडिशन दैट वी हैव स्पोक अबाउट डोंट हैव इंक्विजिटिवनेस फॉर रिफॉर्म बदलाव की कोई गुंजाइश नहीं है इसमें इन लोगों में दोज हु आर सिटिंग एट द टॉप and so these seats have of power and tenants of these seats don't have the basis of inquisitiveness बढ़िया so the rest of them have basically the humans who are the 99% basically who are below that 1% are inquisitive and so that's what they're saying that at least 51% are right you know you have talked about development so far development has meant construction of a road getting electricity to a village or increase the household income what is development according to you okay development in humans fundamentally means the development of consciousness. However, we have been calling the construction of roads, buildings, and development. Moreover, the construction of a jail is in every district is also called development. A bright new house is called development. I do not oppose this material development because these are part of humans' common and special aspirations. However, using these developments rightly requires social consciousness. Very true. We can see also there are some people who have built some, I don't know how many floors, and only one family is living in them, basically housing cars and all those kind of things in one house and aspiring people will also be focusing on that only that we want to become like them so that is the thing there is no limit to the buildings if we are not socially conscious so with mechanistic cautiousness we will inevitably fall into errors and crimes humans need social consciousness behavioral consciousness and orderliness consciousness the Jeevan Vidya proposal is about understanding developed consciousness. After this, there is a proposal for the humanization of education and a family based self governing system. Considering these three proposals, okay, I think these three proposals are basically understanding developed consciousness. After that, there is a proposal for the humanization of education and family based self governing system. Okay, so these are the three proposals understanding developed consciousness, humanization of education, and family based governing systems. Considering these three proposals, we can see that the lesser the damage we inflict on Earth, the longer we will last on it. After all, where will humans live if we ruin this Earth? Therefore, humans are developed when they live with resolution and prosperity in their families, identify all humans as one race, have harmony in their behavior, and evaluate one another rightly. मतलब न्याय दृष्टि से, I guess. That is when they are social. Orderliness in humankind means they're being able to participate in all the five aspects. This is what I call human development or awakening. Okay, these five aspects, I'm not understanding which five. Orderliness in humankind means that being able to participate in all the five aspects. Mm, okay.
Maybe individual level, society level, and then
Acha.
a national
हाँ,
level, international level, family level.
right,
तो पांच level हो गए.
right,
Maybe that
right,
five
right.
aspects.
Yeah, I mean, human being beings able to participate in all the five aspects. This is what I call human development or awakening. This is the meaning of being social. We haven't yet found happiness in our notions of development. Resolution, prosperity, fearlessness, and coexistence all should be accomplished for continuous happiness. Happiness will not be found without this. Okay. So, directly correlated happiness is with resolution, prosperity, fearlessness, and coexistence, right? So, we all know that. Uh, I think resolution with the three orders, prosperity and fearlessness, again comes with. I think resolution in thought. So basically, with knowledge of the three orders and fourth order also, and then prosperity with the material and the Fearlessness is a result of non-hoarding and non-accumulation, right? And then coexistence is basically what we are understanding, that everything is interrelated, intertwined with everything else, including the human beings. Ultimately, the human is the peril of, or the marvel rather, of all the existences. We are actually inherently having all the orders within us. Of course, we are made of matter, so matter order is there. Then we are also following the some of the traits of the plants. For example, we are actually driven more by the sun than we know it actually. A lot of things in us are linked with the fact that the sun shines on us. And to prove it, like for example, if we are not out and we are not taking in the sun, a lot of illnesses are faced within us. Simple example is not having able to make vitamin D, for example. So that's one of the things that we are going to face. So all the three orders are in us, and the knowledge order, of course, is the higher one of that, because we have Kalpana Shakti and Karma Swatantrata. So that is the thing that we have as a Gyan order. So coexistence, right? Everything is in coexistence, and we should be aware of that. Uh, all this should be accomplished for continuous happiness, right? Happiness will not be found without this. Question. Darwin also gave a theory of evolution which is still widely accepted. How is your principle of evolution different from Darwin's theory of evolution? Okay. Darwin's presentation is limited to describing the evolution of species based on their bodily structure. For example, the body of an insect, a leech, a horse, a cow, and similarly, the body of a human. He made the skeletal structure the basis of his study. He tried to explain evolution in terms of how the bones in organisms have become longer and stronger, considering the human body as the most evolved and placing prior species in a chronological sequence. The Darwinian narrative about the evolution of the body has a few issues, but this description of humans is completely wrong. According to Darwin, the gradual transformation of apes resulted in the human body, and in this process, a number of intermediate body forms came about which eventually perished. However, according to me, humans have emerged from the womb of some animal with an evolved brain, where the objective of exploration in Prana Sutras was to establish a species tradition where Jeevan could evidence its awakening. In contrast, Darwin's theory claims that a number of indefinite bodies formed evolved due to pressure from the environment and surrounding natural surroundings. Darwin didn't know about Jeevan. He didn't use Jeevan as a reference. Human is a combined form of Jeevan and body. Scientists are still searching for traces of evolution by studying body and bones, and they gave Nobel Prizes, degrees, and jobs for these. They considered the human body as a reference for evolution. If that were so, humans should have reached their potential along with the evolution of human body. But that didn't happen. Humans don't get fully defined within the purview of the body or skeleton. As proof, Darwin himself has written, I myself don't get described within a framework of bones. He was incapable of describing humans. You can bet you call betterment in Rachna Vidhi as development, while it is a Jivan that is the reference point of development. The body cannot function at all without Jivan. Jivan itself keeps the body alive. Neither just the body nor just the Jivan is the basis of humans. Humans are combined expressions of Jivan and body. So I think what here Babaji is trying to say is that uh, Darwinism or Darwin's theory was that the environment makes the body, and here Babaji is completely going the opposite way, that the body cannot function at all without the Jivan. Jivan itself keeps the body alive. So um, uh, here one.
Darwin,
Uh,
Darwin was saying everything about the bones and the structure of bones and the development of bones and the development of human. But he was not at all talking about conscious part. He was not
right,
talking. But at
right,
one stage, he he himself said that I myself don't get
yeah,
described within the framework of bones. वो कुछ
right.
समझ नहीं पाया कि ये क्या
Mm,
गड़बड़ है. And
mm,
like the scientists of today, what they say is that uh, they explain every thought and everything based on brain, but at later
right.
stage they say there is something which is
Beyond,
beyond brain,
right.
but they are not able to explain that. So here, in this Madhyast philosophy, we are able
Right,
to understand the concept of Jeevan, which coincides with our traditional knowledge. In
right.
tradition, we talked about Atma, and
Mm,
here, although they went in a different direction, Babaji went in a different direction. Babaji
right.
said that this Atma is not only Atma, rather it is Jivan, and it is a combination of five things which we have already
Mm,
learned about Man, Vriti, Chit, Buddhi, and Atma. So
mm,
this is a combination of all these five things. And
mm,
then he was able to explain everything based on the combination of body as well as that of the Jivan.
right.
Yes,
Yeah.
Bhaiya, you please
Yes.
add to it whatever you
हाँ.
want to say,
नहीं नहीं बढ़िया.
especially in
I
regard to Darwin theory.
Huh. I think Darwin's theory is also matched with the fact that a lot of research has been done, wherein I saw a documentary of how the volcanic eruptions had taken place in that particular era, and they had found the bones of that place after that 100 or 200 years after that volcanic eruption to have a larger brain capacity. And they had shown 4 or 5 events like this, and that. Here, Babaji has said that evolved person has come out from a advanced species of animal. Um, but again, according to Darwin's theory, there I was actually looking at this document of how the volcanic eruption. Basically, what that means is that volcanic eruption has had come out with a lot of radiation also, and that radiation had worked positively on the DNA and had created the Viksit, how do you say, the Viksit brain? Yeah, so basically the evolved brain or the structure of the brain had increased, the volume in CC, basically. That's what it was showing. I will show you the whole documentary. It's quite interesting. And they had charted how exactly at when the 4 specific volcanic eruptions, major volcanic eruptions on this planet had occurred. And then after a couple of 100 years, they had seen a volumetric increase in the brain capacity. बेसिकली वॉल्यूम बढ़ गया है उसका ब्रेन की एरिया में, तो उसकी वजह से हमारी जो सोचने की शक्ति है और कल्पना शक्ति है, इट मैच द जीवन नाउ. सो दैट इज एक्चुअली ऑल्सो said here also in a similar way, but it has used that word that animal had you been evolved enough to give birth to the humans. So it is sort of arguable, but then ठीक है. I mean, I actually just see the human right now, how it has come out. For example, the body of the insect and leech are kind of similar to. He had seen the see, he tried to explain the evolution in terms of how the bones in the organisms became longer and stronger. Considered the Darwin narrative of evolution of the body has a few issues, but his description of humans is completely wrong. According to Darwin, the gradual transformation of ape resulted in a human body. Right. However, according to me, humans emerged from the womb of some animal with an evolved brain. So now this is where it's going to mismatch, and especially when we are going to talk with the people who are doctorates and all these evolutionaries people, they will say, "Okay, where is that evolved brain? Show us, if the human has come from a womb of an animal with an evolved brain, so where is the evidence of that, the skeletons and all those things?" So I would actually not go into all these kind of arguments, and just rather see that yes, okay, if the scientists are saying that some evolution had happened with this radiation or cosmic radiation, or rather the radiation from the earth, when it comes out through these volcanic eruptions, and then they create some sort of genetic mutation. As we know, nuclear waste has a negative effect on this, and that people have deformed limbs or deformed brain sizes also get smaller sometimes. They do have mental issues. But if naturally or in orderliness, if things are happening, then obviously evolution is taking place, and evolution is taking place in the positive way. and we got a brain, bigger size brain like that. So uh, let's leave it at that. This at this point it's going to be argued. This sentence that Babaji is saying, according to me, humans emerged from the womb of the some animal with an evolved brain. So I would actually, uh, as a say, I'm saying with myself arguing with a scientist, I will have a trouble of explaining this sentence. But anyways, let's leave it for now. But yes, I would actually accept the point that radiation has a part to play in this, because it was radiation in the first place that started the first cells that have created this complex uh, glucose and all these kind of complex molecules. So it was radiation was taking place in that also, geysers basically, where the water is traveling in hot springs and geysers, and it was complete continuously churning the water, and the water used to go down in the radioactive areas, and you get used to that particles and bombarding it in such a way that complex uh, uh, it's not exactly glucose, but complex amino acids got formed like that, and that evolved into cell structures, and those cell structures started to get their energy not from the uh, this radiation from the underground, but then they started to form the energy from the sun, so that they became photosensitive, and then the first algae came out like that, and then the plant life, and then it evolved like that. So yeah, Darwinism, when we are talking about it, it's actually making sense, that matter was there, then prana avastha, then jiva avastha, then jnana avastha. Yeah. Okay. So that order at least is the same. Like it starts with material matter, and then it goes to the pranavastha, that is plants, and then animal, and then the human order. So that order is definitely like that only according to evolution also. And also Babaji is saying the same. But this the first human being was born out of a evolved animal, evolved brain animal. That is going to be a question now we will have to face when we are being asked. Yes, Babi.
या नमस्ते भैया आई थिंक वो एवोल्यूशन और ये एवोल्यूशन सेम तो नहीं है
Hmm.
बिकॉज आई थिंक ऑफ कोर्स वो प्राण मतलब प्राण कोशिकाएं जो सेल्स से ही बनता है वो तो ठीक ही है
Hmm.
बट है ना जैसे बिकॉज रेस्पिरेटरी मतलब वैसे ही एक स्पंदनशीलता जो इसमें है प्लांट्स में उसको
Hmm.
इसलिए जीव कहा गया तो वो हाँ सेल का स्ट्रक्चर ही और उसमें वो फोटोसिंथेसिस के वजह से वो हो रहा है
हाँ.
ये बहुत सारे मतलब आदर्शवाद में भी थोड़ा डिफरेंट कहा गया है मुझे पता नहीं है इफ आई एम रॉन्ग कि मुझे लगता है जो पहले एवोल्यूशन कहा गया है और अभी जो बाबा जी कह रहे हैं वो थोड़े डिफरेंट है मेरे ख्याल से आप जो कह रहे हो सेम है मुझे नहीं पता तो आई
Hmm.
वुड लाइक टू नो समथिंग मोर ऑन दिस
Right. And I think that's where we also we will also get the like the stronghold on this, because if we are right and we have to take this darshan towards the people who are so-called now delusions, then we will also have to have the right answers, because then academically speaking, a lot of questions will get raised, and that questions will also have to be answered rightfully. So even though it is not having any sort of purpose solving this question, like how was or who was the first human being that gave birth to so many evolution evolved human beings. So that will also be a conundrum and question mark to everyone. Even we are not going to have the right answers unless we are going to look in the books for their specific literature. But here he has just was asked randomly, and he has given this answer that it has evolved out of the brain of an evolved animal. So let's see if there is any other key, connecting with this lock. So yeah.
So here is the main difference between the scientific evolution and the evolution as proposed by A.
Hmm.
Nagaraj. So
Hmm.
in the scientific evolution, it is the brain, through brain, it and the mind get as a byproduct. Na?
Huh.
So that is
Huh.
mind is the creation of the brain. But here
Right.
Babaji, what Babaji is saying that there is something different, which is a complete atom, which is the consciousness which gets enter into a body, and through
Right.
the evolved brain it is able to communicate. So that is
Right.
the totally different concept.
Mm.
And now the world is divided on that. Some of the scientists believe that, or majority of the scientists believe that the mind is a byproduct of the brain. But now
Right.
there is a new trend of scientists who are
Uh,
well aware about near-death experience,
Jeevan.
rebirth, reincarnation, and they
Right.
believe that there is something else than the byproduct of the brain. So
Right.
they once there is a complete proof of the rebirth, once there is
Right.
a complete proof of the near death experience, then
Mm.
the question arises, it is not the byproduct of the brain. It is something
Right.
else which is being proposed by Babaji, or which is being
Right.
proposed in our traditions.
Uh,
So
yeah.
I think this is a question to ponder, and
Mm.
unless we get something better, we can have both
Yeah.
the ideas in mind. And later
Right.
on, with more studies, we will be reaching to a very concrete answer. That is
Mm.
my personal view.
Yeah. Yeah, I think for now, let's say like they might be just point 0.5 or point 1 variations of what is evolution in the sense what scientists will able to digest, because at the end of the day we cannot assume that they will take this darshan wholeheartedly, because some people like they're going to be asking questions for the sake of asking questions, so that they can have their say or their point of view is put across, and we'll have to face this kind of thing. So we have to be sort of ready in that sense also. But yeah, let's see. This evolution process is there. Obviously, they are assuming that the body is the one which is evolving, and the body is that. There is nothing else. So definitely, they are going to have the loopholes themselves when they are assuming this. I'm talking
Correct,
about the
Bhaiya.
scientists.
Like you are saying that we have to be ready for the answer. This was
Uh,
the question which was disturbing me a lot at some
mm,
stage, maybe 6 months
right,
or 8 months back. I was
right.
being troubled by this. I was not able to take any decision. Then
Uh,
I read a news that a person who is aware of certain things about rebirth. Then I
mm,
kept on looking more and more videos and reached to a video which is
uh,
available on YouTube about
uh,
the some of the neurosurgeons of the Virginia University who
uh,
have left their you can say neuroscience and now are studying about the philosophy or the perceptive science. So they have made a new department. Why they made the new department? When they have seen certain near-death experiences which they
right,
couldn't believe, because
uh,
their own thinking was it is the byproduct of the brain. But then
right,
they are able to see something which is beyond their scientific study or medical study.
right,
So
right.
if we can quote these examples which are readily available on the YouTube,
Mm,
and we may
mm,
also further study them more, then we can
mm.
readily answer to those people who are having certain questions about the theory of Babaji.
Right, right. Yeah.
ठीक
So
है
consciousness.
भैया, मेरी बात मैंने मैंने जो
हाँ,
बात रखी, ये बहुत सारे वीडियोस अवेलेबल हैं, इन्हें कोई
हाँ,
भी देख सकता है।
हम्म,
यूट्यूब पर होगा तो मैं लिंक भी शेयर कर दूंगा ग्रुप में। तो
हाँ,
वो बड़े ऑथेंटिक वीडियो है, मतलब आप उनको देख
right,
के ये नहीं कह सकते कि ये प्रोग्राम्ड है ये, और उन्होंने बड़ी साइंटिफिक स्टडी की है।
right,
उन्होंने बल्कि नियर डेथ एक्सपीरियंस की एक वेबसाइट भी बनाई है जिसपे लोग
right,
अपने नियर डेथ एक्सपीरियंस को शेयर कर सकते हैं, फिर वो
right,
रीबर्थ के शेयर कर सकते हैं, तो फिर उनको
right.
फर्दर उनके डिपार्टमेंट स्टडी करते हैं। और ये वर्ल्ड ओवर ये फिनोमिना देखा गया है, सिर्फ किसी एक पर्टिकुलर पार्ट में नहीं देखा गया। सो
Mm.
ये सारी चीजें बताती हैं कि देयर इज समथिंग बियॉन्ड व्हाट द साइंटिस्ट बिलीव।
Yeah. Yeah, I think Babaji must have sort of skipped this process, because ultimately what happens is that हर रोज की दिनचर्या या दिन क्रिया में जो भी हम लोगों को व्यवहार करना है, या जो भी चारों अवस्था के साथ समाधान के साथ रहना है, तो these things will not add value to that. Maybe that's why he's taken it so lightly and just although this answer is still going on, let's see. Um, Might be there that we'll find some nugget also. The development in atoms is meant for achieving constitutional completeness, Every atom is constituted of two or more atomic particles. Each atomic structure has a nucleus and particles orbiting around it, which naturally occurs in existence. These atoms contain at least two or more particles. That means the center particle and the one which is revolving around it. Among many types of atoms, G1 is one type. In a G1 atom, there is no increase or decrease in the number of particles, which is why it possesses inexhaustible strength and power. So basically, भूखे परमाणु नहीं है और न के what's the other one which is radioactive?
अजीर्ण अजीर्ण अजीर्ण
Ajirna. Okay,
एक
yes.
अजीर्ण और एक भूखे.
Uh, right. So the orbits basically of these atoms that are out there as we see them, or we see them in the microscope, or wherever they are in practicality in the nature, they are bhukhe parmanus, which are hungry atoms, and ajirna parmanu, basically atoms with excess of electrons. So the sort of radioactive elements that can be counted in that. So here he is saying that G1 is an atom with no increase or decrease in the number of particles, which is why it is possessing inexhaustible strength and power. This is called development in an atom. Thus, we call G1 a developed atom. Awakening happens after development. The evidence of awakening lies in knowing and believing. Recognizing and fulfilling activities occur in atomic particles. One atomic particle recognizes another. So this is the full stop here. The evidence of awakening lies in knowing and believing. So this is for the Jivan, right? Jivan is called or recognized as awakened when it knows and believes, right? So janna or manna, right? uh, and then this is now recognizing and fulfilling activities occur in atomic particles. So this is about particles that are in nature, that we can see the elements basically, where they are recognizing each other. Like for example, if you put a drop of water in oil, it will be surrounded by oil, but it will not be mixed with oil. So the particles actually recognize each other and say that, or I'm saying the word say, but basically they don't mingle with the water particles. And similarly, if you put an oil particle in the oil drop in the water body, the oil will also float, or it will not mix and mingle with the water. So the recognition is there, and this is the sense that even biological organisms, like for example plants, they recognize each and every atom. In the sense, if you plant a coconut tree on the soil, it will pull up only those elements to make coconut water, which we feel. Of course, it is just made of some elements only, zinc and calcium and all these kind of things. But in the same soil, if you put a papaya, that will have the different quotients of different elements, and that's how a papaya tastes like a papaya. Although the soil is the same, they are just sharing the same soil down below, but the way they pick up the elements and combine the complex glucose and all these kind of things is based on their recognition, which is actually inside their DNA or that particular plant, and that's how they recognize. So each and every atom recognizes other atoms. Each and every pranavastha also recognizes the atoms, and this also goes ahead because then animals also recognize the food, and this is keep on going in like a sort of a pyramid. And so this is that's what it means, that recognizing and fulfilling activities occur in atomic particles. One atomic particle recognizes another, maintaining orderliness by saying staying at a definite distance from each other. This is known as physicochemical activity. The most evolved physicochemical form on this earth is the human body. So, as I was saying in between here today, that the most evolved pinnacle or marvel of machinery of these three orders is the human. It's himself or herself. The delusion lies,
भैया
yes.
भैया कैन यू एक्सप्लेन दिस recognizing तो समझ में आया एंड fulfilling activities occur in atomic particles मतलब fulfilling activities मतलब
मतलब it like for example, it will recognize oxygen, hydrogen recognize oxygen, and it will fulfill, it will combine with it, and in a particular way only, and that particular way will be universal. So like
हाँ,
hydrogen will
जानना
combine with,
और निर्वाह
निर्वाह।
करना, जैसे इसके लिए
हाँ।
निर्वाह करना वर्ड होगा। निर्वाह करना का मतलब यू आर राइटली एक्सप्लेनिंग दैट इट इज एबल टू react, or it is able to make
कंबाइन।
certain structures, it may be able
हाँ।
to combine, it may be
राइट।
able to repel, it may be able
राइट।
to attract based on the
हाँ।
everything. So that is the
हाँ।
kind of nirvah karna.
राइट। So basically, for example, if they share the outer orbit, they will share the outer orbit only. And when they share the outer orbit, they will be combining, the two will combine, and then they will renounce their previous, what is it called, characteristics, and take on a new characteristic, which is force hastito. So fulfilling. So for example, they when they combine also, they will combine to evidence sahastito. So that was one thing that was very marvelous for me to understand, that even if they come together, like for example, lightning occurs, right? And then when lightning occurs, the oxygen, which are actually in nature, they are O2. There are two particles, two atoms of oxygen, and they're moving around in the air. And when the lightning comes, it just they split, for example, because of so high temperature, and that reason splits the oxygen. So they are, instead of O2, now they are O and O, right? And that O is now bhukha parmanu, like it's looking for a partner. So now it combines with an O2, which is already in the atmosphere, and hence makes O3. And now this O3 creates a vyavastha, which is ozone layer. So ozone is basically O3. So that's how they create the ozone, is always replenished with this lightning, or even sun's rays also creates this ozone. So it's in sahastito, to promote sahastito, to keep sustaining, sahastito. These all these occurrences happen where their atoms are recognizing each other and they're fulfilling their activities.
तो
Yes, I
भैया
think.
मुझे लग रहा है आपने सही बताया है, बट जो पहले का लाइन है, दिस इज मतलब एक अवेकनिंग हैपेंस आफ्टर डेवलपमेंट, फिर कहा है द एविडेंस ऑफ अवेकनिंग लाइज इन नोइंग एंड बिलीविंग, मतलब जानना और मानना।
हाँ,
इसके बाद
but that is
अनुभव।
for जीवन. हाँ।
तो आई
हाँ।
थिंक क्योंकि वो एक कंटिन्यूअस नहीं है, तो
हाँ।
मुझे लगता है वो डेवलप्ड एटम की बात कर रहे हैं, तो वो जीवन की
अच्छा।
बात की है। फिर उसके
हाँ।
बाद आई थिंक वही लिखा हुआ है, रिकॉग्नाइजिंग एंड फुलफिलिंग
हम्म।
एक्टिविटीज अकर इन एटॉमिक पार्टिकल्स।
हम्म।
अब वो एटॉमिक पार्टिकल्स मतलब जीवन की ही बात कर रहे हैं जो परिवेशीय है। तो
अच्छा।
रिकॉग्नाइजिंग एंड पूर्णता के अर्थ में जो फुलफिलिंग एक्टिविटीज है, शायद
हाँ।
मुझे ऐसा
नहीं
लगता
नहीं
है वो
नहीं
कहना
नहीं
चाह
नहीं
रहे हैं।
नहीं नहीं, वहाँ वहाँ नहीं ऐसा कह रहे। आप आगे की लाइन पढ़ेंगे तो क्लियर हो जाएगा।
हाँ।
फिर एक्चुअली वो
वन।
मिक्स कर दिए है ना, जहां तक मैं समझ पा
हाँ।
रहा हूँ। ऊपर बात
हाँ।
करते करते कंप्लीट एटम की बीच में उन्होंने दूसरे एटम्स की बात कर दी कि जो
हाँ, क्योंकि
बाकी
यहाँ पर
एटम है
फिजिको
पर।
केमिक,
हाँ
बिकॉज इट्स।
एग्जैक्टली, मैं वही कहने वाला था।
हाँ। राइट, सो बिकॉज इन दिस लाइन डेफिनेट डिस्टेंस फ्रॉम ईच अदर, ओके ठीक है, वो तो जीवन में भी होता है, बट दिस
हम्म
इज नोन एज फिजिको केमिकल एक्टिविटी. नाउ दिस इज प्रूविंग दैट दिस इज टॉकिंग अबाउट नॉर्मल एटम्स. सो
हम्म
आई एक्चुअली टुक इट फ्रॉम हियर ओनली. एटॉमिक पार्टिकल्स जब आया ना, तब से ही मेरे को
हम्म
लगा कि नहीं, ये जीवन की बात नहीं हो रही है, बट और पहचानना और निर्वाह करना तो वो तो है. आई थिंक जीवन में तो है ही, बिकॉज वी आर ऑल्सो पार्ट ऑफ evolved जीव, evolved परमाणु ओनली ना. सो ये तो हमारे अंदर है ही. उसके सिवाय भी दो.
एडिशनली, एडिशनली नोइंग एंड बिलीविंग उसमें और आ
हाँ.
जाएगा।
राइट, राइट, राइट. सो ये चारों चीज हमारे अंदर है, और नॉर्मल एटम्स में रिकॉग्नाइजिंग एंड फुलफिलिंग ये होता है ना. बढ़िया. आई होप आई हैव थ्रोन सम लाइट ऑन दिस, ऑल्दो आई एम नॉट सेइंग एग्जैक्टली, बट मैं भी यहाँ पर स्टडी कर रहा हूँ, तो आई थिंक वी आर गेटिंग समवेयर, है ना, हमको थोड़ा सा क्लैरिटी आ ही रही है. ओके.
एटम मतलब परमाणु होता है, और एटॉमिक
हाँ.
पार्टिकल्स मतलब उसके अंश होते हैं, ऐसा है।
राइट, राइट, राइट.
बराबर ना, पार्टिकल्स इज
हाँ.
द अंश।
Right.
ओके ठीक है।
And Babaji has not said that there is a proton and there is a neutron and there is electron. Ansh, he's saying that is all one and the same. That's what I've understood. Although people, when they were talking, I was looking at Babaji's videos. When they used to talk, that बीच में होता है वो खींचता है, और बाहर के होते हैं वो दूर भागते हैं. वो बाबा जी ने कहा कि it is for व्यवस्था and they are all the same size and all the same nature. So there is, he is calling it ansh, where we are calling it proton, and we are saying that protons are bigger in size, electrons are very small in size. He is saying it's the same size also. If I'm not mistaken, that's what he means. और उसने अंश बोला है, और वो सब अंश एक ही कैटेगरी में डाल दिए बाबा जी ने. But anyways, see, we have also not seen these things yet. Imagine that we are having so much of science, but we are not able to see the electrons. And I think we might be able to see the protons, but still, we are just assuming it because we are firing some electrons onto it, and then the way they are deflecting, we are assuming their size. So we have actually not seen the atom yet even. This is the power of the, the beauty of existence is we have not exactly seen the particles of what size they are, what dimensions they are. Some of them are saying that they are waves, string theory, they're putting it there. But all this can you just be summed up into one sentence that all these particles are there behaving it for towards evolution, and then that evolution then again is for orderliness. So है ना, ये बात तो we cannot deny it. The proof there
Hmm.
of that is the biological order is there, and then we are also there. So we are seeing the evolution taking
So
place.
yeah, if you see, if
Hmm.
you see the development of atom itself today, many scientists may not believed about the complete atom which Babaji is talking, but
Hmm.
you see the development of atom. Now, it
Hmm.
was discovered sometime in 1700 something, but
Right.
2500 years before, one of the
Right.
philosopher has already told about something called atom. है ना?
Right.
Although
Right.
he was not able to explain each and everything, like here, the Babaji is not able to explain scientifically. The question
Hmm.
is, he is not able to explain scientifically. But
Right.
he is putting this point. There is a possibility in the years to come,
Yeah.
the structure of the this complete atom may also come forward. Some
Right.
scientists may able to recognize it or see it, and these
Right.
possibilities are always there.
Hmm.
This may not happen in a day or two. It may take some time, many years, like what
Hmm.
happened to the atom.
Hmm. And I actually heard once in one of these discourse shivers that the atom, the Jeevan, is actually so fastly moving around the body and keeping everything in how do you say it, in awareness basically. That's what I understood. I may be wrong, but पूरा जीवन है जो पूरे शरीर का what is it called, यात्रा नहीं, but it's traveling basically according to the dimensions of the human body. So this is how it is able to. This is how much power it has. That in a few split seconds of time, it is able to complete the whole circle around the body. And I have also heard this. I'm not sure now that the Jivan creates the features of the human body. So when it is in the womb, it is able to create the face and the hands and all this kind of things. So now, I mean, according to biology, of course, this is in the DNA. All these things are in the DNA, and those activities are being carried out by the DNA, and so the cells are being divided according to like that. But yeah, I think it's one of these courses. It was said that when it's in the womb, the Jivan also start designing the body itself. But let's see. I wish Shalini was with us. She would have remembered which place we had heard that, because we keep on listening to this kind of things together. So then she would have given the exact reference. But I will get the reference. Yeah, we have on Friday. Na? So let's see on Monday I'll get to this thing again, because this is very like it's a curious place to be. Although we have understood and we are knowing. I mean, from Janna Mana we are getting to Pehchana and then Nirva Karna. But then when it comes to evidence, be it in the physical sense, then we'll have some issues. So we should have some answers, and that's what we are trying to do also. But the instrumentation also is lacking, to see the atoms and all these kind of things. It's still far off, but let's see what happens in the future. Okay. Uh, this is called developing the atom. This we called developed atom. Awakening happens after development. The evidence of awakening lies in knowing and believing. Recognizing and fulfilling activities occur in the atomic particles. One atomic particle recognizing another, maintaining orderliness by staying at a definite distance from each other. This is known as the physicochemical activity. The most evolved physicochemical form on this earth is the human body. The delusion lies in Jeevan believing itself to be the body. So this is where maybe Darwinism is also being stuck in a way. It's like believing that the body itself is the all in all of everything that is existing. So that is that is the delusion, right? Okay, we still have a couple of minutes. Shall I? A question? Okay, this is a small question. You had met the Chief Justice of India, Sri Venkatachalya in Delhi and asked him about universal justice, to which he had no answer. Okay, universal justice, not just justice about a particular case or anything like that, right? To which he had no answer. Justice varies between India and Pakistan, and even India, there are separate codes of justice, Hindus, Muslims. There is a lot of confusion about what justice actually means. You have stated that justice is evidence in the family, while we think justice is delivered in the courts. Please clarify. The essence of justice lies in relationships, values, evaluation, and mutual satisfaction. So Ubhay Trapti, and that is what is the basic fundamental core of what Babaji is saying is what is justice. When two parties are saying that we have won, mutual satisfaction, that is what is justice. Uh,
भैया का नेट शायद हैंग हो गया। So let me try to read it. The sense of justice lies in relationships, values, evaluation, and mutual satisfaction. It is crucial to have evaluation and mutual satisfaction in relationships. Humans are inherently related with both insentient and sentient nature, whether we accept it or not. बेसिकली जो यहाँ पे वेंकट चलिया जी से क्वेश्चन किया गया था, तो उसका आंसर उन्होंने यही दिया था कि हम लोग जस्टिस नहीं
इंटरनेट,
करते। हाँ।
सो
हाँ
हाँ
भैया।
भैया।
तो मैंने कहा जितनी देर में आप दोबारा लॉग इन करें, थोड़ा समय। वेंकट चलैया वाले क्वेश्चन को मैंने पहले भी पढ़ा था, तो उसमें यही हुआ था।
अच्छा।
बाबा जी को उन्होंने कहा था कि हम न्याय नहीं करते, हम तो फैसला करते हैं। तो
हाँ,
हम जस्टिस नहीं करते। हाँ, तो यहीं पे एक
सही है।
डिफरेंट फिलोसफी बाबा जी ने प्रपोज की थी कि जब हम रिलेशनशिप फील करते हैं तो फिर हम हमारी जो जस्टिस के प्रति सोच है वो बदल जाती है। जैसे मान लीजिए किसी
हम्म,
के प्रति हम रिलेशनशिप को फील नहीं करते, और वो कोई अपराध करता है, तो हम उसे कहते हैं कि इसे अभी से मार डालो। है ना, आजकल लोग बहुत बात कर रहे हैं कि पाकिस्तान को सबक सिखाया, उसका ये तोड़ दिया, उसके इतने लोग मार दिए। लेकिन यहीं पे
हम्म,
अगर कोई अपनेपन का भाव कहीं आ जाता है, तो फिर हम बदला लेने की बात सोचते नहीं। देन हम सोचते हैं कि इसको
right.
कैसे सुधारा जाए। है ना, उसको
In
सुधारा
fact,
जाए।
the very attack would have not happened in the first place, है ना?
हम्म।
बढ़िया। जी जी भैया, आप बताइए। हाँ,
हाँ ठीक है, मैं वही बात रख रहा था कि जो
हाँ,
अल्टीमेटली
हाँ,
किलिंग इज नॉट द आंसर। वी किल द बॉडी, नॉट द कॉन्शियस पार्ट। कॉन्शियस पार्ट गोज एज इट इज, इट रीअपियर्स। इट्स बेटर टू इम्प्रूव द कॉन्शियस पार्ट। जो बात सारी आज भी डेवलपमेंट की बात है, तो बाबा जी ने कहा क्या डेवलप करना है? डेवलपमेंट तो कॉन्शियसनेस को करना है ना। और कॉन्शियसनेस की
right.
डेवलपमेंट कितनी जरूरी है। जब भी लोग आज भी somebody आई मेट, ही वाज वेरी हैप्पी, देखो हमने कितने उग्रवादी मार दिए, वो कर दिया। तो मैंने कहा वो
हम्म,
ये तो, और ये तो बहुत अच्छी चीज है, उसके गुणगान कर रहे थे। आई सेड इट इज
हम्म,
गुड until your own child get injured or get dies in that। है ना, अपना बच्चा अगर
right.
फौज में मर जाए तो हम कहेंगे नहीं यार, ये युद्ध नहीं होना चाहिए था, इसका अल्टरनेटिव होना चाहिए था। है ना, एक तो
हाँ,
ये चीज निकल के आती है। दूसरा, फिर किलिंग से बॉडी तो किल की, कॉन्शियसनेस पार्ट
हम्म,
तो अगर वो किसी का खराब है तो वो दोबारा से रीअपियर हो जाएगा किसी और बॉडी में, और फिर दोबारा
हाँ,
ये परेशानी बनी रहेगी। तो इस वर्ल्ड को बेटर बनाना है तो कॉन्शियसनेस डेवलपमेंट इज दी वन एंड ओनली वन सॉल्यूशन विच आई कंसीडर।
right, right.
जागृति अपनी
बहुत
और
बढ़िया।
सबकी ये बहुत जरूरी है। हाँ
हम्म।
भैया आप
और
कंप्लीट
सराउंडिंग
कर
भी।
दें। हाँ अच्छा, आप फिर हैंग हो गए भैया। हाँ सराउंडिंग्स का भी जो बात भैया रखने वाले थे, सराउंडिंग्स भी देखिए, आप और मैं सब एक फैमिली में रह रहे हैं, एक सोसाइटी समाज में रह रहे हैं। तो ये जो ये कॉन्शियसनेस डेवलपमेंट की बात है, इसको हमें सबके सामने रखना पड़ेगा। तब जब लोगों को चीजें समझ में आएंगी, when they will be able to understand the righteousness path, then they will be able to take an informed decision. Then they will not be able to kill, disturb, or and then their mindset will change. So
Right.
they will start finding the right kind of solutions which are
Right.
good for the whole of humanity. Yes, भैया।
Right. Yes, yes. बहुत सही, बहुत सही. But yeah, so let's continue tomorrow. Sorry, Monday, because weekend. And yeah, it was a good talk today. We covered a lot and बहुत बढ़िया रहा. चलो. Namaste everyone. Have a good night.
Namaste, good night, happy
Thank you.
weekend.
Yes, thank you.
Same to you.
Bye.